Hi, and welcome to the third small cap brief. The objective of this is to identify Canadian small cap companies that can drive job creation, revenue growth, and economic value for Canada. My name is Dean Stewart. I have 24 years experience providing IR services to small cap companies. And I acknowledge I have challenges in making optimal investment decisions. And the purpose of this is to crowdsource insights by leveraging collective knowledge to make better informed investment decisions and to increase awareness and boost visibility for Canadian small cap companies to support their growth and contribution to the Canadian economy. Again, I'm highlighting companies that can create jobs, generate revenue, and add value, fostering economic development in Canada. The next company I'm talking about today is Plascred Circular Innovations, which is PLAS on the Canadian Securities Exchange. And I'm going to step right into it here. So Plascred, they give plastic a second life. They're working towards transformative recycling of plastic that converts it into renewable green condensate and carbon black. Share structure, 87 million shares outstanding. Last share price was 12 cents as of yesterday. I was working on this last night. I see today the stock has hit 20 cents on about close to $600,000 in shares. See some information. There are some warrants outstanding at 7 cents and 0.0767 cents. Options, not an unreasonable amount. Why this company caught my attention is they announced ERA funding for approximately $5 million. This is part of it's called the Emissions Reductions Alberta. Side note, I did submit an application for a sustainable homes project to ERA. It is quite a vigorous process to go through. It takes about 6 months. Very encouraging to see that they were one of the recipients. So it allowed them to push their project forward. This is the news release that came out. Again, $5 million non-dilutive grant to support the commercial scale facility, which is NEOS. Definitely good news. Located in the CN Rail Scotford Yard. I believe it's in Fort Saskatchewan. Again, goal, circular economy, reduce emissions, create jobs. As far as partnerships, they do have collaboration with CN Rail. I do see they have an MOU. I don't know if that's gone definitive. Palantir, through their Palantir Logistics program. Fiberico Export. The one that stood out is this global commodities company for an offtake agreement. They don't name the company, but it's at, I believe, $120 a barrel, which is pretty good. Love to see some more information on that. As far as the types of plastic recycling, the thesis is that there's too much stuff going into the landfill. I know that certainly in Calgary, we put our plastic waste into a blue bin. I believe the latest statistics are about 9% of our plastic waste is actually truly recycled, which is embarrassing. I always thought that all the plastic that we put in these blue bins would actually go to some sort of recycling. I'm sure some people may have seen, I believe there was a marketplace program that they tracked plastic waste and it was all going to the landfill. Bottom line is that is obviously it's not only is it waste, but it is a waste. I think we should find a better way, and potentially Plascred has that method. There are a few other companies. This is based upon Google search, Bing search, Perplexity, ChatGPT, and XGrok. These are the 7 companies that popped up. There may be some more. Always welcome to find out more. The one that stands out is Aduro Clean Technologies, which is ACT on the CSE, ACT. Also has a NASDAQ listing, $450 million market cap. They use a little different process. I believe they use a chemical process versus Plascred uses a form of pyrolysis. I recommend doing a comparison to two, but certainly encouraging to see that Aduro has that fairly large market cap. Trading price for Plascred over the last 2 years, all-time high of $1.31 during 2023, which is encouraging. Obviously, if people were involved or participated in financings out of the gate, I believe it was around 30 cents. They got cheap shares. If they can sell them, they made money. Definitely a potential opportunity for them to participate in future financings, considering they made money on the first round. All depends on how well they've communicated with those people. 3-month trading volume, 10.5 million shares. Not a lot, considering now they have 87 million shares outstanding, but definitely seeing activity as of late. Again, the stock trading at 20 cents on about 600,000 shares. Problem, again, growing plastic waste. I think everybody recognizes that plastic, we don't want to go into the landfill. It takes a long time to degrade. Obviously, Plascred has a potential solution to this, which includes not only these renewable green condensate, but also carbon black and aromatics, which includes hydrogen and propane. They did have a facility in Calgary that was done with White Oil Engineering. Found this total installed cost $950K. That's encouraging. A reputable engineering firm in Calgary has done the work. Again, engineered pilot process and designed plastics pyrolysis reactor. 950K. So there has been an investment in that. I would assume that plant is its pilot, but it definitely showed strong indications that this is working. Strategic partners. Again, they still in their presentation talk about this MOU with Strategic Alliance with CN. One of their board members used to work with CN. I mean, that's important. The logistics is so important as far as getting the product to the facility, again, in and around Edmonton. Palantir, obviously lots of people talk about Palantir these days, but strategic collaboration for integrate AI. I'm not sure how that actually works. I haven't done a lot of digging in on what the Palantir logistics service provides, but anything using AI is probably going to make things more efficient. Again, also talking about that commercial partner definitive agreement to take the green condensate at $120 a barrel, transport included. I mean, that's a good deal. To have that secured definitely provides some revenue for them. Business model, again, convert plastic waste into saleable petrochemical feedstocks. Again, just makes sense. Keep stuff out of the landfill, provide a product. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the term circular economy, I think, it's kind of common sense to not want to put stuff in the landfill and find a usable product from waste. The market, it's growing. It's going to get massive and more people draw attention to it. One of the things that stood out to me is they talked about plastic credits, and one of their, I believe he's a head of sustainability. There is a video talking about it. Obviously, lots of people know about carbon credits and such, but I did not know anything about plastic credits. As far as a range and pricing, I mean, I don't think it's a compliance market with a set price. I believe it's a voluntary market where there's a range where companies can purchase these plastic credits. Obviously, a good source of revenue for them, and something that Plascred can use to their advantage. Team. Troy Lupol, he appears to be the main person behind the company. He owns a lot of shares, 27.5 million, performance warrants as well, tied to certain successes of the companies. He's had 2 successful companies that are operating, I believe, in the wastewater business, servicing oil and gas camp jobs. The links are in there. As far as other ownership, there is an individual, Eric Bonetz, it's cut on the bottom here, but he owns 12 million shares. He is designated an insider. I don't see him as part of the management or board. Strategy, again, advance their pilot project. They want to get this Maximus facility. I believe the range is from 2,000 to 10,000 barrels per oil per day, $120 million. That's a lot of money. I don't know how they're going to raise it, but obviously they have some connections. They did sign a financing arrangement with a group called Nimbus Capital back in the day to raise up to 10 million. It was pricey. I don't know if the relationship is still there, but they issued a significant amount of shares for entering into the agreement. And to date, there's been 49,000 raised. Again, I don't know if that financing arrangement is in place. They do have some warrants attached tied to performance. They did receive, I think, approximately 380,000 warrants. They can earn more based upon bringing more money in. News flow, looking in the news flow outside of the one that definitely perked interest everybody with the grant from Alberta, a lot of it is on private placements. They did have the long-term condensate deal. They did start the feed study for their NEOS plant. So not a lot on the corporate development side of things. It certainly would be nice to see more news on, kind of sealing up some of those loose ends of things. IR and marketing, you see the website link. LinkedIn, no post. X, 88 followers, minimal likes. They have been a little bit active. YouTube, 84 subscribers, 16 videos. I would expect there'll probably be more videos considering the interest in it. Instagram, 140 followers. TikTok, 27 followers. They do have some videos recently from Stockhouse. That tells me that they probably entered into some sort of marketing arrangement with Stockhouse. Not a lot of views with the Stockhouse videos. They did have a relationship with Adelaide Capital. There were a couple videos, not bad viewership, 400 to 800 views on those two videos that I could find. And investment pitch media with 3,000, approximately 800 views. Obviously, the goal would be to get more traction. That investment pitch video, I don't know what sort of marketing they did, but definitely, after doing the search for some of the competitors, I found that they didn't show up in Google. I did Plastic Recycling Technology Canada. I did see their peers, again, doing searches through Grok, through Perplexity, through ChatGPT. Plascred did not show up. I don't know how they can get marketing, but certainly some search engine marketing and a digital program would certainly get this in front of more people. Closing thoughts and takeaways. Again, great idea. Obviously, they've proven it on a pilot scale. They've gone through the vetting process with the Alberta government with respect to emissions reduction Alberta. Getting $5 million and going through that. That's great. Certainly would like to see more news flow, maybe a little bit more from the digital marketing standpoint. It works. It just, you got to get in front of more eyeballs, and that's part of the goal. What we're trying to do here in Canada is let people know that there are success stories. One of the things as well, I noticed that Adura has a NASDAQ listing, which obviously you need to have a certain market cap and share price to qualify for it. I don't think that Plascred is there yet, but certainly to expand, whether it's news flow or marketing for their US, I believe it's a pink sheet listing. They don't make reference to it in their press releases. They do make reference to a Frankfurt listing. There's effectively minimal trading on the Frankfurt listing. Lots of times when you have to do, when you get that Frankfurt listing, you got to pay to do some marketing or pay somebody over there that's going to kind of get the word out. Again, a digital campaign could work for that. So again, I think Plascred, it's certainly one to watch. I like what they're doing. It makes sense. We did see back in the day, there was a company called Cielo Waste Solutions that had a lot of activity. I was looking back some of their disclosure from 2019. They were talking about effectively taking garbage and converting it to some form of diesel. That stock just went bonkers. I think it went from pennies to in $1.50. It may have even hit $2 back in the day. Cielo has changed their their sort of their vision that they're now taking biomass waste. They're not doing plastic, but again, plastic is the product that people want to get rid of. So again, take a look at Plascred. Again, this is not to be construed as investment advice. Always recommend contacting an investment advisor and do your own research. And if you got any insights or anything, feel free to send me an email. You can go to my website, boardmarker.net, or send me an email, dean@boardmarker.net. Thank you.